I'll get someone for the luggage.
Thank you, Captain.
Mother, these people are so funny. Everybody goes barefoot.
Stay where I can see you, Loy. Help watch him, Bibi. Don't let him get all untied.
Yes, Mem Saab.
Mem Saab. Who is here to receive us?
Someone will meet us, Moonchi. Do try and watch the luggage.
No sign of anyone to meet you. You sure they knew you were coming?
Oh, yes.
I suppose all this seems very strange to you.
Not entirely. I feel as though I already knew Sian.
Oh?
I read a very interesting book about it on the boat by a man who visited it once. Oh, don't smile. It's really quite good. For instance, I knew that was the royal palace.
Right.
You see? Have you ever been inside it?
Yes, almost all of it. Except, of course, the Nangham.
Oh, the harem, you mean?
Yes. It's quite a place. I've heard it called the universe, with a single sun and 1,000 moons. The king being the sun, naturally.
Good gracious.
They run a bit of language out here. They say, too, that he's the disk of light they all revolve around.
How many women revolve around this disk of light?
Oh, 1,000 or more.
Really? The book didn't mention that.
I haven't anything against that book of yours, Mrs. Owens, but look here. This is Sian. There isn't even a consulate here. You see... Hello.
Someone to meet me, I suppose.
Jakun Sabaidi, Mrs. Owens, may I present His Excellency the Kralahome, Prime Minister of Siam. Jakun Mem Anna Owens.
Are you lady who is to teach children of royal family?
Yes.
Have you friends in Bangkok?
No, I know no one in Bangkok at all.
Are you married?
I was married. My husband is dead.
How long your husband been dead?
About a year.
What manner of man, your husband?
He was an officer in Her Majesty's army, serving in... Ask His Excellency why it is necessary to know these things.
My master says if he asks, it should be enough for Mem to answer.
Tell your master that his business with me is in my capacity as governess. It is not necessary for him to pry into my personal affairs.
Mem bakwa mai chaitara arai kang chakam.
Tangang mai tong put kapchonik.
My master graciously says Mem need not talk at all. His slaves will take her to palace.
Tell him to wait.
Jakun.
I was promised that a house of my own would be provided for me on my arrival. I wish to be taken there.
Mem dongkan hai pa bai ban. My master says if Mem does not wish to go to palace, she can go wherever she pleases.
That's the rudest man I ever met in my life.
Mrs. Owens, if that book of yours had been any good at all, you'd have known they asked personal questions here just to be polite. And he wasn't being rude. He came out to meet you in person. And you're a woman. And women do not exist in Siam. They simply do not exist.
Well, all I hope is that I'll have nothing more to do with him.
My dear young woman, you'd better realize that you can't do anything out here without him. And if I were you, I'd try to see him first thing in the morning and tell him that you didn't understand, that you're sorry. Or as near it as you can manage. Well, looks like you sleep on board tonight. Means I can't go with you in the morning. Get down the river early. Oh, well, I'll find someone.
Thank you, Captain Norton.
Not at all, ma'am. And don't worry, ma'am. The king has invested money in your passage, and he's very canny about money. He'll see that you have a chance to do your work.
Come, Black
They write in such a funny way here.
Don't be rude, darling. Come here, wait quietly.
You will come this way.
Thank you.
You will wait.
What shall I draw now?
Well, let's see. Draw an elephant.
I just did. I wish we could go.
We're going to wait.
My master wishes to know why you come here, what you want.
Tell His Excellency, I did not understand the honor he paid me in coming to meet me. I'm sorry I behaved ungraciously, and I came here to tell him so.
Tom Tursi, Water Mai, Chinachingru.
My master wishes to know if Mem truly regrets sin of having bad temper, or if she only says so in order to ask favor of him.
Tell him it's both. I am sorry, and I would like his help in getting started with my work.
Why isn't he a coat on? You make me wear one.
Quiet, dear.
Let's go. I don't think I like him.
What is your name, boy?
Louis Owen, sir.
Are you afraid of me?
I don't think so.
That is good. I like you. Take seat, sit down.
Thank you. Your Excellency speaks English. I didn't know.
Not necessary to know everything in first minutes. What for you object to live in palace?
Your Excellency, I must have a place of my own where I can go when my duties are over for the day.
What you wish to do evenings that cannot be done in palace?
You don't understand, Your Excellency. It isn't for some foolish reason. I came here to teach because I must work to support myself and my son.
Well, you're not married again.
Oh, no. Not ever. The only thing I want now is to bring up my son. He's very like his father, and I want him to grow up that way. That's a very difficult thing to do in a strange country. That's why we must have a home of our own. This is very important to me, Your Excellency. Please believe that.
You say King promised you this house.
Yes, Your Excellency, I have the letters.
You do not show me. I do not think you lie. But sometimes His Majesty do not remember everything he promised.
But couldn't you remind him?
Ma'am, if I tell King he breaks his promise, I will make anger in him. I think it is better if I make anger in him about larger matters.
Very well. If you're afraid to tell him, I'm not. Will you arrange for me to see him as soon as possible?
You think you tell King he breaks his promise?
Yes, if that's necessary. If he wants to get angry about breaking his own promise.
Ma'am, I think I arranged this meeting for you.
When?
I do not know. His Majesty is very busy now.
Is he too busy to remember he asked me to come here?
Unfortunately, New Year and you arrive at the same time. New Year more important.
But it wouldn't take 10 minutes of his time to talk.
And after New Year is festival called Songkran, with fireworks. That will take a week or so, maybe. Then it's time for cremation of late cousin.
But surely...
And His Majesty goes up river to receive sacred white elephant. Then ceremonies of tonsure of hair of oldest daughter.
And what am I supposed to do in the meantime?
Wait. Live in palace and wait.
But this is ridiculous. I came here to teach.
Ma'am, this country has been here 1,000 years before you came, and must continue.
That may be, but I intend to keep my part of the bargain, and I assure you I expect the king to keep his.
Ma'am, I do not think King will remember this promise, but I do think will be very interesting meeting. I'm in Club Bahang.
I don't think we'd better open this one. It's full of things I didn't know what to do with.
Here's my dog.
Oh, baby, do stop crying. I told you, Moon, she will probably be here any minute.
I think I shall never see him again. They said that he could not live here with us.
Nonsense.
And I think...
You must have misunderstood. It's just that there isn't room for him here now.
Yes, ma'am, sir.
Don't you remember where I packed those sheets?
I see fireworks.
It's New Year's Day.
No, it isn't, Mother. It's only April.
The New Year's out here. I won't sleep a wink tonight unless we have our own sheets on those beds.
After dinner, may we go see the fireworks?
We'll see. Oh, yes. They're in here. I remember now. There, baby. All right, come on, darling. Now I'll see about dinner. We would like to have some dinner. Something to eat. Eat. Oh, wait a moment. What part of the palace are we in? Well, poor souls, they don't seem to understand.
What made them shut the door?
Oh, well, I don't know.
What are they doing there?
Oh. Oh, no. Oh, so that's why Munchie can't be here with us. Oh, Louis. Baby. Oh, what a thing for me to do. And I said so positively. Oh, Louis, you will have to forgive your mother. I said we'd have a home of our own, and here I brought you straight into a harem.
What does that mean, Mother? What is a harem?
Oh, oh, don't ask me now. When you ask me something like that, I should have a good answer, and I will, but I just can't think of one now.
Do I have to wear this suit, Mother?
Don't sulk, dear. Come, we must hurry. Where did I put my... Oh, here it is.
The day is here, Mem Owens. It is unfortunate Mem had to wait for New Year and cremation. But at least she's ahead of White Elephant.
Who is going to present me to the king?
Oh, by all means, I present you myself. First, let us observe manner of entering presence of His Majesty. Let us suppose Lord of Life sits here. Here is door. How far?
Oh, no.
It is custom of country.
I couldn't. I'm very sorry, but I couldn't.
His Majesty very sensitive about such matters.
Your Excellency, I intend to show His Majesty the utmost respect, but he cannot possibly expect me to crawl on the floor. I wouldn't do that for my own queen.
What you do in presence of your own queen.
I'll show you.
Do as you wish, ma'am. But remember, you are not only one with temper. This king has temper, too. I return when it is time. You will wait.
Mother, I can walk on my knees if they want me to. That's easy.
Louis Owens, you walk in and make your bow exactly as I've shown you. Don't you dare crawl in like a worm. Don't you dare.
Yes, Mother. Perhaps they don't like us here or something.
The whole thing is perfectly childish.
If Mem is ready now.
Quite ready.
Sorry, ma'am. His Majesty has concluded audience.
You mean he isn't going to receive us after all?
Some other day, not today.
I wish to be presented now.
I do not advise it.
Louis.
Who? Your Majesty, I present new English governess, Mrs. Anna Owens, and son Louis.
old shall you be? You do not look like a scientific person for teaching of school. How old shall you be?
I am 150 years old, Your Majesty.
In what year were you born?
1712, Your Majesty.
And how many years shall you be married?
Several, Your Majesty.
How many grandchildren shall you have by now? How many? How many? How many? Ah, you do not answer that so quick. I make better questions than you make answers, hmm? Daub my die. Ma'am, daub my die. You not afraid to tell King something is not his business?
It would not be a compliment to His Majesty if I were afraid of him.
Ah, not to be afraid is good thing in scientific mind. I think maybe you will make very good school teaching. These, my wives. This, Jojom Song Klin, who is favorite. They not speak English, and I have no time for teaching, being busy with foreign affairs and other situations. Dek, when I'm out, we'll get my children. I have fine idea. You teach all my wives as have sense to learn. Sian be very modern country, very good. Everybody's speaking English.
I would be happy to, Your Majesty.
Ah, here come my children. You see, mostly boys. Not all, few more. Ah. Oh.
How many are there, Your Majesty?
They are not all here, of course. Only those old enough for school. I have 67 children. Not many. I began marriage a little late.
Which is the eldest?
Ah, this one. This is Prince Chulalongkorn. This, Princess Fa Ying. This, Prince Tewa Wang. This... No, too many. Will take time to learn.
They're a wonderful-looking family, Your Majesty. You make me wish I had 67.
Ah, it's impossible. That is very funny. Come. I consider Mrs. Owen suitable for teaching wives as well as children.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
You shall begin school next Thursday. That is best day for such undertaking, according to astrologers.
Very well, Your Majesty.
I am very pleased with this lady. Why was she not presented here more soon? $150 a year, huh? How many grandchildren? You may go.
Good day, Your Excellency. Come, darling.
Is this the school?
I don't know, dear, but we'll find out soon.
Don't they even start school on time here?
Perhaps the astrologers found a star they'd overlooked.
What's the matter now, Mother?
I don't know. It must have something to do with the king.
June 12, 1862. June 12, 1862. He is full. Do you understand meaning of word agility?
Well, I think Your Majesty is giving a very good illustration of it.
You see, she understands. This ignorant and lazy man is my secretary, understands nothing. All he ever wants to do is sleep, sleep. On June 12th, 1862, which is today and therefore birthday for me, you see I am young and strong. I have agility like young men.
Of course, Your Majesty.
Then how can I be spare man? How can I?
Perhaps if Your Majesty could explain a little more.
Birthday should be happy day. And what is first happening? It is writing about me in British newspaper from Singapore, says I am spare man. A king cannot be spare man. How can I be spared from work which is necessary? Who can fill my place? I ask you this. Who can fill my place?
Your Majesty, the word spare has two meanings. One of them is extra, the other is thin. They don't mean to say that you're unnecessary, just thin.
Why shall you contradict me?
I'm only trying to help you.
Is it help to say I am wrong? How can king be wrong and woman be right? I ask you that how?
I'm afraid, Your Majesty, that it has happened sometimes.
It is clear you are not scientific. Why are you here?
Because you told me you intended opening my school today.
My astrologers are fools. How can this be a good day for schools? You may go.
Very well, Your Majesty. But since you postponed opening the school, there's something I would like to discuss with you. I should like to use the time in getting settled in my own house.
House, house, house?
The house you promised me.
Conditions different suddenly. Have we not agreed to teach our women?
Well, of course I have, Your Majesty.
Then how can you teach them if you live outside? It is our pleasure that you shall reside within this palace.
If Your Majesty remembers, you promised me a house.
I will do remembering of what I promised. Who is king here? I remind you. I do not know condition which will arise. I do not know anything but that you are my servant, and that it is our pleasure that you shall reside within this palace. And you shall obey.
Your Majesty, I'm prepared to obey all your commands as far as they concern my duties as a teacher.
You shall live in palace. You shall live in palace. You shall... Come back! Come back! I command you, come back!
That king hasn't very good manners. His mother certainly didn't teach him not to shout.
Women don't seem to count for very much out here. How can a king be wrong and a woman be right? Well, the disc of light isn't going to talk to me like that. Bibi, take Louis into the other room. Yes, what do you want?
I have been ordered into Forbidden City so I could personally conduct Mem to house His Majesty has graciously decided she should have.
A house outside the palace?
His Majesty instruct me to say he desire to observe fully terms of his promise.
Well, is this it? Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
What was it like? Is there a stable for my pony when I get it? Is it on the river?
Oh, Louis, it was horrible. And he did it deliberately to teach me a lesson, to put me in my place. Well, he'll rue this day, let me tell you. If he knows the meaning of the word rue. Unpack these things, Bibi. Unpack everything.
Well, then, Sob, you said that...
It doesn't make any difference what I said. That man's going to give me a house before I leave if I have to stay here the rest of my life. I'll not just go away and let him sit here laughing at me. I'll not.
Mrs. Owens has graciously changed her plans, so will live in royal palace and be free for question of education at all times. I command you to be diligent and to make most of this opportunity for sake of yourselves and country.
We will come to attention, please. Don't any of you understand any English at all?
They think you wear a dress like that because you're shaped like that down there.
Oh, you speak English.
Good morning, sir. I am very glad to see you. I think of you very often. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. A missionary.
Oh, a missionary taught you English.
Tiang.
Lady Tiang.
Yes, sir.
How fortunate. I shall ask you to help me in explaining to the others.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
We shall now begin the class. The usual way to begin would be with the English alphabet. But I should like to impress His Majesty with the way English people feel.
Kayang, my son, go ko.
Therefore, we will begin by learning a song or two, or a sentence or two, which will express English feeling. For instance, this one. It's an old proverb. If a man break faith with me, shame on him. But if I let him deceive me twice, shame on me.
It is not good day. I feel it. There will not be many gifts this morning. Who shall this be?
My name is Toptim.
She was sent by Governor of Lao province. She's daughter of his youngest brother.
Ah. What favor shall this governor want now? Never mind. Write letter. Say thank you. Make it nice letter.
Where'd this come from?
I do not know, Your Majesty.
There is writing on it. Read it to me, oh my father.
You would not understand it, little one.
But I have studied a month now. The English Shaw says I am very clever and you will be pleased.
Tell me something that you have learnt in school.
Good morning. This is a thought for the day. A promise delayed is justice deferred. A promise neglected is a truth untold. East or west, home is best.
A tree.
That will do for today. Now I think it's time we started learning our alphabet. Look on your slates and listen while I pronounce the letters. A, B, C, D, E. Oh, good morning, Your Majesty. Are you going to say something to our class this morning?
No.
F, G,
There is no place like home.
No singing here. If singing necessary, I sing.
Your Majesty. It has begun, Tungramam. We've lost Cambodia. Our governor of Cambodia has made a treaty with the French government. They've recognized Cambodia as independent of Siam, placed it under their protection. And this governor of ours still protests his loyalty to Your Majesty.
So, the camel's nose is in the tent. The partition of Siam. It has begun.
For a long time, we've said this hour must come. Now it is no longer talk, it is upon us. What do we do?
Nothing. We shall do nothing whatever in this matter, because there is nothing we can do.
Your father took such a man once and burned out both his eyes. Hung him in the sun in a cage over cool running water until he went mad.
We have not the right to waste ourselves on something which cannot be changed. We shall save what strength and cunning we may have to hold together what is left of Siam. And if we cannot save all that is left, we shall save what we can.
Tell me something, Tungramam. long time ago, I came to you and asked you to leave a life of peace and be the king. If I could ask you now to make that choice, what would your answer be? Think well before you answer that. Think what this can mean to you.
You feel great responsibility for me, don't you, Chao Ku?
You might still be living peacefully at the monastery if I had not persuaded you. Perhaps it is not too late to return. Think well on that. The monastery instead of this place where you have only enemies and danger. Well, you know this is not the end. The ships of Europe will crowd thicker on our seas, greedy for conquest. They have the power and the cunning. They know how to set your nobles against you, how to buy and threaten them. How can you hope to hold Siam together against enemies without and within? All that it can mean to you is that in the end you will die in a lost cause. I have done you a sorry service to have brought you to this moment.
I think you take too much credit on yourself, Chao Ku. There is a man born for every task, and I was born for this one. Remember, I was prince before I was monk. Let me ask you, if you were in my place, what would your answer be? Then give me as much credit as you allow yourself, my friend.
If only we had more time.
She's got someone else at it.
She?
That woman in her house! Stop it! Take a lesson from her, my friend, and you'll never give up on anything. Give her a house.
But...
Give her a house. If she was meant to be assigned to us, she deserves a reward. And if she wasn't, well, give her a house anyway before she drives me out of my mind.
Very nice.
Yes, ma'am. No fish here.
No fish.
You like it?
I could be quite comfortable here.
It is, of course, our wish that Mem shall be perfectly satisfied.
Oh, I am. Perfectly, Your Excellency. I said I'd get a house, and I got it. But now you may go to the king and tell him he can have it back. I wouldn't live in it if it had a roof made of rubies. And you can tell him something else, too. I wouldn't live in a country where promises mean nothing, simply nothing. I won't stay in Siam a minute longer than I have to, not if he gave me the whole palace to live in, all by myself. Good day, Your Excellency. And I'll find out what time we're sailing. I think we can go aboard ship the first thing in the morning. If Louis wakes up, tell him I'll be back soon.
Yes, Ma'am, sir.
How dare you treat me in this manner? I demand an explanation. And I warn you
Be quiet, sir.
that I'm a British subject.
That does not reason you are safe. I could have you killed if that would serve my purpose. Such things are simple here. Sir, you enjoy your triumph about your house? Because it shall now enjoy greater triumph. I have something to ask of you. Not demand, but ask. It is that you shall stay in Siam. You may enjoy yourself if you like, sir.
No matter what you asked, I wouldn't do it.
If you do not stay in Siam, where will you go?
I don't know.
Have you other place to put your life?
What has that to do with you?
Have you, sir?
Please stop calling me sir.
I call you sir so you will not be lowly like a woman. But you continue to talk like a woman, I no longer call you sir. You think now you are nothing here. But that could be different.
How could it be? As long as the king can change his mind from one day to another.
The king is not ordinary man.
Indeed he isn't.
He is lonely man.
Lonely.
Mem, I have watched you. I think there is need here for you. I think you know what is truth about many things, and I know you have courage to speak it. The king has no one near him like you. He has many wives, but they cannot help him. You can speak with him as a woman where they cannot. And he will listen to you because he will know you do not seek something for yourself.
Indeed, I wouldn't. Least of all, the chance to revolve around him. He doesn't need help.
Mem, why you not see? Why? He is two men. One part of him is king like his father was. Other part tries to be man of new world. Scientific man who desires to learn all modern things to save his country. The greedy men of Europe are at our door. They say Siam is barbaric land and so must be ruled by them. So King must learn all modern things now. He tries work too big for any man with no one to help. His own people are his enemies. They do not want change. And sometimes inside himself his enemies that cannot change. Oh, ma'am, are you blind? Have you no eyes to see? He does not live coldly with mind as I do, but with heart. With heart, ma'am, as king must. And so is torn in two within himself. And to whom can he turn? Whom can he trust? He is very lonely man. And very strange man. Yet for him I would die.
I'm afraid I haven't been very understanding.
Ma'am, I cannot promise that it will ever be easy for you. We have proverb here. Go up by land and you meet tiger. Go down by water and you meet crocodile. But for you, it will be place to put your life.
Your Majesty once suggested that I might possibly be of some slight help to him with his correspondence and in the translation of...
Alec, take letter. To Mrs. A. Owens, by our gracious consent, governors of the court of Siam, etc., etc., etc. Dear madam, I have your letter in which you make offer of assistance. In reply, beg to state, you were engaged for teaching school, not otherwise. I think you shall ask yourself, are your scholars now interested in facility of language more than certain songs and proverbs concerning houses?
L-M-N-O-P-Q-R-S-T U-V-W-X-Y-Z A-B-C-D-E-F-G.
There seems to be definitely no answer.
L-M-N-O-P L-M-N-O-P-Q-R-S-T U-V-W.
Do you speak English?
My family speaks some English a long time.
What is your name?
Toptim.
He's very amusing, but none of us can do any work while he's here. You'd better take him outside until school is over.
He will be good, ma'am. Nang so mento.
He's really very clever. But I cannot allow him to stay. Take him out now, Tuptim.
If he make people to laugh in this dull palace, that is good.
I don't want to have to make a report of this to His Majesty.
His Majesty give him to me.
But not to bring to school.
Go to the king, if you like.
Mem, do not make quarrel with new favorite of the king. You will lose.
Tuptim. Let's get on with our work now, please. We've lost enough time.
Ma'am, there is a thing in this book I do not believe.
What is it, Prince Chulalongkorn?
It shows world like round ball that spins on stick through middle. And everyone knows that world rests on back of great turtle who keeps it from running into stars.
Where did you get the book?
I gave it to him.
But you shouldn't without asking me.
I'm sorry.
There are many stories about the world, Your Royal Highness, and when we're further along with our studies, I shall try and explain them to you. But for the present, I think we'd better stick to our letters.
But I know all my letters, ma'am. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
Quiet, please. I know that you are very quick to learn, and I shall do all I can to help you. But for the present, I wish you to recite with the class. You wanted to see me, Lady Tian?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you stayed. I wanted to thank you for warning me about Tuptim.
Yes, sir.
I don't quite understand about Tuptim being the favorite. I thought the Lady Son Klin.
Why you think Lady Son Klin not here?
I thought perhaps she was ill or...
She in prison.
But what for?
Because she gambled too much, which is law. But she do not go to prison for this, if she is still favorite.
Is there anything we can do?
She is young. She will become used to such things. I will help her when this can be done. But it is hard. I am not in favor with my lord.
Oh.
Not for a long time. My lord's table. I taste food there. That is all.
For fear of poison?
Yes, sir. God, my lord. That is all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, sir. No, not for me, sorry. I, Chow Tom Manda, Mother Royal Prince.
Prince Chulalongkorn?
Yes, sir. Yes, my little boy. You like little boy?
Yes, of course.
You think my little boy learn?
Yes, he seems very bright.
Please, ma'am. You do not mind that it is hard for him. Hard to learn from woman. He wants much to learn. Please, you will help him to learn all wisdom. That is most important thing.
Yes, of course. And I'm sure he'll do beautifully. Well, after today, I think I can manage a large cup of tea. Louis! Thank you, Lady Tian, for all your help.
Goodbye, sir.
Ready for tea? I'm sure I am.
Well, we might as well, I suppose.
Oh, dear. What seems to be the trouble? I think you'd better tell me.
Well, I can't make any sense out of it. He says nobody can touch his head because it's sacred. And his shoulders are almost. Anyone who struck me upon head would have to be killed. When I am king, like my father, no one may stand so head is higher than mine. So the only way they know how to fight is to hold a long stick in the middle and beat each other on the shins and legs with it. You might just as well stand and kick each other's shins, but he wouldn't even do that. It is a matter that takes much skill. I would have beaten him very badly.
I see. But suppose you tell me why it was necessary to fight in the first place.
Well, he said I wasn't a man because I told you I was sorry about giving him the book. And a man shouldn't tell a woman he's sorry not about anything.
Oh. Tell me, Your Royal Highness, if your father corrected you about something, would you resent that?
He is man. He is very wise. He knows everything.
Well, you see, in our country, it's possible for me to be almost like a father to Louis, even though I am a woman. And because we love one another very much, he knows that I want only what is right for him. And he can accept authority from me just the same as you can from your father.
I do not think I would like country in which this was so.
But since it is so with us, I see no great need to fight. I think it would be much nicer if you could be friends.
Well, he was not coward. He would have tried sticks. Well, all right then.
That's better. And we'll see you in school tomorrow.
Mamselle, it is the end. The end has come. I knew it would come.
Don't be foolish, baby. What is it?
His messengers are here. The king wishes to see you. What can he want at such a time of night?
No, I have to find my things. Your Majesty.
Mem, I think your Moses should have been a fool.
Moses?
Moses. I think he should have been a fool. Here it stands, written by him. The world was created in 6 days. Now, you know, I know, it took many centuries to create world. I think he should have been a fool to have written so. What is your opinion?
Do you mean to say that you sent for me at this hour of night just to ask me that?
Yes. What is your opinion?
But couldn't you have waited till morning?
Mem, you say you wish to help with study, etc. Do you wish help or do not?
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I do want to help if I can.
Then what is your opinion of this thing as stated by Moses? Mem, it is necessary for me to read all European books to try to understand knowledge of modern world. And there have been very many things written. There have been mountains of things written. And knowledge is buried underneath this mountain. I ask you to consider this is very much reading for one lifetime. And how should I do this understanding when different English books say different things?
Your Majesty, the Bible was not written by men of science. It was written by men of faith. It was their explanation of the miracle of creation, which is just as great a miracle, whether it took 6 days or many centuries. I think science does not contradict the Bible. It has only made us more aware of how great the miracle was.
Well, I still think your Moses should have been a fool. You may go.
Moses, the idea. 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone ought to tell him a thing or two. Tomai tok lan so.
Ventat.
Konkrai.
Chow chom taptim.
Lady Tuptim's slave?
I am not sorry about the monkey, if that is why you make me stay.
It isn't the monkey, Lady Tuptim. I want to ask your help for someone. It's your slave woman, Lahore. I talked with her.
By what right?
I can't believe you would deliberately keep her in chains so long, and with a child, too.
She tried to run away.
She was only trying to go to her husband. He wants to buy her freedom. Isn't there a law in Sian that says a slave must be freed if the money is offered?
What right has she to be happy with someone she loved while I am shut up here? Let her stay where she is. You can have your law. I have the king. Go and find this out for yourself.
Memcha,
Oh, yes, Your Royal Highness.
what is it about this law? Does it mean slaves of king, too?
Of course, a law is the same for everyone.
But I do not understand about law that makes it more important than king. Tell me.
I'm sorry. We'll talk about it some other time. Now I must go and see your father.
Yes, Memcha.
Mem,
Oh, yes, Lady Tiang.
is it not all right for him to ask you things? Things outside the books?
Of course. But some other day when we have more time. I'm sorry, but I must go to the king now. He's really doing very well with his studies. Your Majesty, I've come to you because I felt I must bring something to your attention. It concerns...
Mem, why must you stir up tempest over Lady Tuptim's slave?
I have much unpleasantness because of this.
Then Lady Tuptim has already told you about it.
I do not have time to waste discussing matters of such nature. In future, do not trouble me with saying they do not interest me. You may go.
But surely, Your Majesty, you want to hear all the truth. You've only heard Lady Tuptim's story. Perhaps this slave isn't important.
Ma'am, why you stand over my head?
I don't understand.
Last night, when I invited you to consider Moses, you stood up over me. You do so now, and I cannot stand up all the time. In this country, no one's head shall be higher than the king's. It is a sign of great disrespect. In future, in present, you shall conduct like all other subjects.
You mean on the floor?
All subjects do so.
I'm sorry. I shall try my best never to allow my head to be as high as Your Majesty's. But I simply cannot grovel on the floor.
You are very stubborn, ma'am. I do not understand why you must be so.
Your Majesty, I couldn't possibly work that way. Surely when we're alone, it isn't necessary.
No one shall say I am not a reasonable man. I grant you such favor.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
But you shall observe care that head shall not be higher than mine. If I shall sit, you shall sit. Etc., etc., etc.
I'll try, Your Majesty.
Very well. You may go.
Not until I've said what I came to say. Your Majesty, I think this slave has a right to expect justice from you. And I think it's wrong when the King of Siam upholds his wife when she chooses to disobey the law.
I am the law here, as people can discover if not discreet.
I'm sorry to hear you say that, Your Majesty, because it goes against everything I thought you wanted for your country.
How shall you know what I want for my country?
I know you wanted to progress, to take its place among the other nations of the world. You made this law yourself, but if you put your own will above the laws you make, you'll fail. Other countries won't trust a nation where a man can put himself above the law. Everything might change with your successor. Siam's word, her treaties with him would be good only as long as you live.
I do not like this talk about successor. Why must you make entire household in uproar over one slave? I ask you to remember there are 3,000 women in household. 3,000 women can be very much uproar. And how shall I do work which is necessary when there is so much uproar?
But this is more important, Your Majesty. The progress you want isn't a matter of customs or manners. It's the spirit behind those things. It's recognizing that every living person is an individual with the same right to liberty and justice under the law, so that he can make as much as he's willing to make of his life. Your law began to give your people that right, but a law must be the same for everyone, for slave just as much as for king.
Consider Her Gracious Majesty Victoria, Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, and powerful sovereign of British colonies around globe of human world, and our most affectionate sister. Is she not above the law?
No, Your Majesty. My country may have many faults, but her laws are the same for all. And in the United States, their president, Mr. Lincoln, is fighting a war for the same principle.
Ah, this sounds like progress in America pretty bloody.
Sometimes you have to fight for what you believe in.
Who shall this Mr. Lincoln be? Is he king of this United States?
He is their president.
What is this president? I do not understand this.
It means he was elected. That means he was chosen by the people, by vote, to lead them.
I do not think I like this. Shall he be winning this war?
No one knows, Your Majesty.
And how shall he be trained to rule if he is not born to do so?
But he doesn't rule them. He only sees that the laws they make themselves are carried out. And I believe he studied very hard. He educated himself.
Ah, this very difficult thing, as I know of sad experience. I teach myself English and other language. In this respect, Mr. Lincoln and I much alike.
He said something about progress once when he was speaking at a school. He said he was afraid we were inclined to accept as wisdom what is only knowledge, and to accept as progress things that are nothing more than change. He said true progress must bear some relation to man's character. It must have its roots in his heart.
I think I like this, Mr. Lincoln. Why is he not winning this war of his? Has he not got enough guns and elephants for transporting same?
There are no elephants in America.
No elephants?
No, Your Majesty.
Ah, no wonder Mr. Lincoln does not win war. We will write letter to Mr. Lincoln.
Now, Your Majesty?
Now, when you think. Now, always best time.
But I wanted to talk to you about the slave woman.
Take letter to Mr. Lincoln.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Somdet pra paramen maha mankut. By the blessing of the highest super agency of the whole universe, King of Siam, sovereign of all interior tributary countries adjacent and around in every direction, etc., etc., etc. To his most respected, excellent... To his most respected, excellent presidency. President of the United States of America, it has occurred to us. It has occurred to us that should there be several pairs of young male elephants turned loose in forests of America, we are of opinion that after a while they will increase in numbers and inhabitants of...
Your Majesty.
Well?
I don't think you mean pairs of male elephants.
Do not interrupt. And inhabitants of America will be able to catch them and tame them and use them as beasts of...
Your Majesty.
How can I think
Only
such...
male elephants?
We, on our part, will procure young male and female elephants and forward them onto you 1 or 2 pairs at a time. Believe me. Yours faithfully, etc., etc. That is all. You may go.
But, Your Majesty, I had hoped you'd talk about the slave woman.
That is all. Good day, Mem Owens.
Good day, Your Majesty.
True progress shall lie in man's heart.
Good morning, Lady Tufton.
I wish to show you something very beautiful.
Oh, how lovely.
My name means pomegranate. He say I am most perfect and fascinating woman in palace.
It's a beautiful gift.
It is worth 1,000 times price of slave.
Then the slave is free?
She mean nothing to me now. I do not wish to see her again.
It was very generous of you, Lady Tufton. Perhaps it means much more than you realize.
You did not know this? That she is free?
No.
It is strange he did not tell you this.
He didn't give me any answer at all. I thought...
Then you did talk to him. And it is you he listened to. If I am not first here, what is left for me?
I appreciate most highly Your Majesty's tender of good offices in forwarding to this government a stock from which a supply of elephants might be raised on our own soil. But unfortunately, the present jurisdiction of this government...
Jurisdiction?
It means authority.
Jurisdiction. Jurisdiction.
The present jurisdiction of this government no longer reaches those latitudes southerly enough to favor the multiplication of the elephant. But this nation is warmly grateful for this indication of Your Majesty's friendship and commends both Your Majesty and the generous people of Siam to the blessings of Almighty God. Your good friend, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, I think I like this, Mr. Lincoln. Jurisdiction. Jurisdiction. But no elephants.
I thought the prince might like to come to lunch, but he didn't. I think he's lonesome. He doesn't even live with his mother or talk to her. It's almost as if he didn't have a mother. Why is that?
Well, that's just the way things are out here, dear. I've noticed he hasn't seemed quite so interested in his school. Probably something on his mind. I'll have to find time to talk to him.
Ma'am, His Majesty wished that you come to him at once.
But we're just beginning luncheon.
His Majesty say you shall come right now.
Oh, dear.
Ma'am, shall it be proper for English dignitary to see some of our women?
Well, if Your Majesty were in England, you'd wish to see some of the prettiest women there, wouldn't you?
But how shall I let him see them like this? No shoes on feet. He will go back and tell Queen Victoria, I am barbarian. Why you not think of that?
Who will tell her, Your Majesty?
Sir Edward Ramsay. So you, ma'am, shall choose most beautiful women of harem and dress and educate same in European custom for presentation.
Well, when do you wish to have them ready?
5 o'clock, post-meridian, this Saturday.
But it's only 4 days. I can't possibly have them ready in 4 days.
Ma'am, shall it be possible you are becoming lazy?
I'm not lazy at all. I simply can't.
Perhaps if Mem understood very great importance of occasion.
Then why have you not told her this? Ma'am. Do you think I am barbarian?
Of course not, Your Majesty.
I hope Sir Edward shall agree with you. The situation for Siam very murky and critical.
Oh? What's happened?
My agents in Singapore have obtained copies of letters written to British government from certain persons wishing to acquire interests in Siam or parts thereof. Such letters describing me as barbarian and not suitable as ruler of Siam. Wherefore they suggest necessity of establishing protectorate, maybe.
Well, that's outrageous.
I have met situation by requesting official visit of British representative, who shall see for himself whether or not I am barbarian. Make report of same to your gracious queen. So, now you see necessity of making dresses for them.
Your Majesty, wouldn't it make a better impression upon Sir Edward if the ladies receive in their own manner and dress?
Ma'am, you are not scientific. He knows we are Siamese. I wish him to see we are also European. So you shall tell me which of these girls are most like European women for dressing as same.
Very well, then. Let me see. Stand still. How can I possibly...
Ma'am, what kind of men are Englishmen? I have heard they have the evil eyes. Terrible blue eyes, ma'am, that look into the soul.
Oh, nonsense. Who ever heard of such a thing? Oh, dear.
What shall be trouble now?
Oh, I forgot they've practically nothing to wear underneath.
Shall you be wearing something underneath?
Certainly, Your Majesty.
Money. Yunkin. I am not aware of difference.
But there is a great difference, Your Majesty, whether you're aware of it or not. All properly dressed European ladies must have undergarments.
If I am not aware of difference, how shall Sir Edward be?
But he might notice.
He should not. Ma'am, what is your opinion? Shall they be all right?
I think they're going to look charming. Your Majesty, do you mind if I make a suggestion?
What shall this be?
I think it's wrong that the only reports about Siam are taken back by sea captains and adventurers. And I think that if you ask him, Sir Edward would help you get official representatives from England to be here permanently. A consulate, I mean. And such men would tell the truth in their reports. As long as you're having Sir Edward here, why not have other people at the same time? The Dutch and the French. All the Europeans you can reach with invitations. And ask their help in accomplishing the same thing with their countries.
All at the same time?
Well, why not? You want all the other governments to know what you're trying to do here.
Too many people. I think you shall proceed with the outer garments, ma'am.
Oh, dear. don't think I can stand it.
You shall write invitation for dinner for Saturday, 6 o'clock, post-meridian, from list of European people furnished you here to, and any other desirable you may think of, submitting names to me firstly.
But I thought you said...
We are aware gratefully that such idea was suggested by you, but it's the idea of doing so with dinner, which is important. All slaves shall be given you that you shall need for cooking and serving, and you shall train same. Furthermore, you shall set table yourself so that everything shall be done in best European custom.
I'll do everything I can, Your Majesty, but I do wish
I shall prove to all that I am not barbarian. You may go. Shall this be correct for table service?
Perfect, Your Majesty. The loveliest I've ever seen. Oh, how magnificent.
Suitable for European, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Hoi, yayut.
But where are the knives and forks?
Ma'am, pure gold, ma'am.
We couldn't possibly use chopsticks with soup and other things I've arranged for.
Ma'am, have you such things?
Oh, well, yes, but not nearly enough.
Get knives, forks, spoons, 2 kinds, some memoins, and have them copied. And in gold.
But there isn't time, Your Majesty.
They shall work without sleeping until this is ready. And if it is not done, each man shall be beaten 100 strokes. Tell them this. They shall be ready. Ma'am.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Shall it be necessary for me to use knife and fork also?
It would be desirable, I think, Your Majesty. Would you like me to show you how?
That shall not be necessary. I have ability for proper use without lesson.
Ladies, take your seats, please. And remember, all you have to do is sit in your chairs until His Majesty makes the presentation. Then rise and bow. Now, do you understand?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Well, I only hope you do when the time comes. Now, just sit quietly until the presentation. And for goodness sake, be careful with your dresses. May I present Mrs. Courtright and Mr. Courtright. Mr. Courtright is the editor of the newspaper in Singapore.
Ah, this is newspaper that prints I am Spearman. I should like to talk with you, Mr. Courtright. Rosewater, hospitable custom of country. Wherefore have you decorated yourself better than all the rest? Shall it be for my observation?
Your Majesty.
You are fine. Very fine indeed.
Your Majesty, may I present Miss Elizabeth MacFarlane, who has just come out from England. Miss MacFarlane's brother is the Lieutenant Governor in Singapore.
Are you an anecdote, Miss MacFarlane?
I beg your pardon?
You are unmarried woman.
Well, an anecdote and an unmarried woman are not the same in English.
They are the same. An anecdote is a hitherto untold event of curious interest. And an unmarried woman's life is also an untold event, and therefore of curious interest. I say they are the same.
But, well, this will make an interesting anecdote for you, Miss MacFarlane.
Makes no difference.
I'm sure Miss MacFarlane would like some rosewater, Your Majesty.
She is very ugly. Herewith shall be a list of subjects for you to bring up for talk, because on such subjects I am very brilliant and will make fine impression.
Yes, Alok.
The napkins, they did not come. I think he will be very angry.
It's too late now. We can only pray he won't notice. His Majesty made a very interesting point the other day about Moses when he was reading the Bible.
Moses, a very remarkable man. If you remember, he wrote in the Bible, but unfortunately, the present jurisdiction of my good friend, Mr. Lincoln's country, did not favor the multiplication of the elephant, and we considered the idea was not practical.
I was not aware that Your Majesty was so familiar with Mr. Lincoln's situation in the war in America.
This is point. This is exactly impression I hope you will correct. Court of Sian, through much study thereof, is familiar with happenings on entire globe of modern world. And now, ladies, gentlemen, I commend to you theatricals for your pleasure, and they shall be of history of Kingdom of Sian, a very old and very proud history.
Not now, Your Majesty. They finished.
Ma'am, may I permit them to say I am barbarian without napkin? But...
Oh, no. Gracious heavens, no.
Wherefore do you not sit down when I am in same position? I have experienced a very fatiguing day.
So have I, Your Majesty, and it's very late.
Very anxious day for me also. I had great fears for success. Are you aware of why I am so hungry? I was sick, very sick. However, I shall tell you that on account of conversation with Sir Edward, we are in accord with British government regarding consulates and other matters relating to security of this nation, and very happy thereof.
I'm very happy too, Your Majesty. Very.
I hope you will accept a slight gift of appreciation for you.
Your Majesty, you're very kind. I shall treasure it always.
Shall you be hungry?
Terribly.
Plenty for two.
Well, this is odd. Where do you suppose everybody is?
Perhaps they're just late.
Well, it's queer they should all be late. Looks as though something extraordinary is going on.
Perhaps there won't be any school today.
Look, I'll try and find out what's happening.
May I get my pony and ride?
If you like, dear, but be sure you take Moonchi with you.
Good day, sir.
Lady Tiong, something very strange is going on. I'd be grateful if you could tell me what's happening.
Why are you concerned with such matters? Instead of school?
Because whatever it is, it affects my school. And me.
Why you come to me?
Because I thought you would know.
You do not say I told you.
Of course not.
Lady Toptim has been found.
Toptim?
Didn't you know she had run away from the palace?
No. She hasn't been to school for some time, but how could she possibly get out of the palace?
She escaped in robes of novice of the priesthood, which someone gave to her.
Where was she found?
I do not know. All I do know is when she was brought back to the palace, they brought a young priest with her.
What will this mean, Lady Tiong?
What it has always meant here.
When will she go on trial?
They question her now.
You mean her trial has already begun?
This is not the same thing.
But she will have it.
I do not say any more. And I think it will be best if you return to teaching of pupils.
Thank you, Lady Tiong.
The other novices who lived in cell with me never knew I was woman until this morning. They were with me all the time. If they did not know I was woman, how could he know? They will tell you he did not know. Why are they not here? Why do you not ask them?
The truth is, this man got you a novice's robe in which you escaped from the palace. You went to his cell and stayed with him there until you were found. Will you confess to this, or must we get it out of him?
No, wait! You must believe the truth about him. He had nothing to do with it. He is completely innocent. I went to the monastery because I did not know where else to go. The Prapalat did not recognize me, not then or ever. Not even though he had known me since he was a boy. I had been betrothed to him by my family before I was sent to palace. After I was sent to palace, he entered the priesthood and put me out of his mind completely. If he ever thought of me at all, he thought of me as gone forever beyond the wall of inside. He taught us every day, and I grew quiet and happy because I was near him. I no longer wanted to be anything to him, but only to be near him. Only to be near him.
A very pretty story, and you told it beautifully. Only no one believes you, of course. Now, let us get back to the beginning. You went to this man because you love him.
No.
You live in his cell as a woman.
Ask the others. They will tell you the truth.
You make him break his holy vows. Confess.
I will not. I will not.
Stop that! Stop it, you hear? Stop it! She's telling the truth and you know it. Why don't you call the other novices? You don't want the truth. I shall go to the king and have her taken out of your hands.
We will wait. The mem has much to learn.
Your Majesty will forgive me. It's a matter of great importance. It's Lady Toptim, Your Majesty.
nothing dishonorable to me that is secret here. Go. All of you, out.
It will be better if you understand at once that this matter does not concern you.
But it does. It does dreadfully. Because of her. And even more because of you. Your Majesty, I'm sure if you'd known in the first place that she was in love with someone else, you never would have allowed her to be brought here at all. But now they're trying to make her confess to something that isn't true, torturing her without regard to proof or witnesses.
You waste your time.
But surely you're going to see that they call her witnesses.
This shall be my affair.
You must when she's called to trial.
I do not wish to talk more of this.
You can't refuse her a trial. There must be a law in this.
I am the law!
That's what I was afraid of, Your Majesty. I beg you, don't take revenge on this girl. If you do, you'll have thrown away everything you've done. All you've built up for your country and yourself with such labor against such odds. And you'll never be able to get it back again. How can you have faith yourself in what you're doing? Or ask anyone else to believe in you or the country you represent when you know yourself you're only pretending? That you don't give a snap of your fingers for your people or human progress. That it's a lie. Something to cover up caprice and passion and self-indulgence.
You go too far.
This girl hurt your vanity, that's all. You don't love her. She didn't hurt your heart. You haven't a heart. You've never loved anyone. You are a barbarian. You'll never change. You'll be a barbarian as long as you live.
Then, how shall you like if I make you watch what I shall do?
Bye, Ma'am Cha.
Goodbye, Prince Albert.
Bye, Ma'am Cha.
Goodbye, Princess Patana.
Bye, Ma'am Cha.
Goodbye, Princess Somawat.
Goodbye, Ma'am Cha.
Goodbye, Princess Monya.
Where's Prince Chulalongkorn? He would not come. Ma'am Cha.
Princess.
I will always feel so unhappy thinking of you being among all those English people.
I shan't ever forget you, Princess. Goodbye. Well, I guess that's all.
You go on, Mother.
What are you going to do, Louis?
I rather thought I'd like to say goodbye to the prince.
Oh, it's odd he wasn't here today.
Well, he's funny.
All right, dear, but don't be too long.
Oh.
day, sir.
Oh, good day.
We are wishing to say something to you, ma'am.
Oh?
Be seated, please. Shall you be ready?
Dear friend and teacher, my goodness gracious, do not go away. We are in great need of you. We are like one blind. Do not let us fall down in darkness, but continue good and sincere concern for us and lead us in the right road. Your loving pupils.
Thank you. Thank you. You can't imagine. You can't imagine. Lady Tiang, I came here because I've seen very little of you lately. Somehow I have a feeling you've been avoiding me. I should hate to leave like that. I have a sense of having failed here, but I'd hoped that we had become rather special friends. If there's any reason why.
Does the mem want me to say she has not failed? Or does she wish me to speak truth?
For the truth, of course.
This is maybe not good room for mem to speak about her failure. Has she ever observed my wallpaper?
It's very beautiful.
But you have not really looked at it. It tells a story for anyone with the eyes to see. I had it painted. That straight young tree is like unto me when I am young and became first wife to my Lord, who is the great tree there. I am happy, and you can see that there are flowers all around. They are the happiness that grows in our shadow. But here, other trees grow up between me and my Lord. That is custom for a king to take many wives. And here, my Lord the King, the great tree, grows very fast, very high, trying to touch stars. But the branches are bare, not green with leaves to make kind shadow from the sun. See, the flowers are almost gone, and the small tree, which is me, droops and withers. I cannot help him. And here, I see that beside me, very small tree is growing. This is my son, the prince who shall be king. See that the ground is all bare now. The sun is very cruel. I try to shelter him, but I am very small because I am only a woman. I try, but I do not know if I can do this.
But you haven't finished it.
No, I did not know what the end shall be. But I know now, and I do not wish to paint it. I cannot help him. This tree will not be better than the other one. And this shall be your fault, Mem Owens. You should have helped him. That is what I hoped for. He wished for such love as your son has. That is what he needed. I watch him. He could have grown gentle and kind. And in this is happiness, not in lessons. All this you could have given him, but I could not. He is the one you fear. And I shall remember you for this failure every time I look at my son, as long as I shall live.
Only infidels would send gifts at a time like this, Mem Saab. They should be sold. And this I will undertake for you.
Yes, we'll see, won't she?
Good day, ma'am.
Your Excellency.
You're better today, maybe?
Much better. Won't you sit down, Excellency?
Not today, ma'am. I'm here officially today. I have something I'm ordered to read to you. You prepared for listening, ma'am?
Yes.
The unforeseen misfortune or mournful event of death of said affectionate boy has caused great sorrow to His Majesty and to royal family, since this boy was beloved by all as a member of said family. But as sign of regret that events of such sorrowful nature must be arriving to those deserving of better happiness, the 12th of September is appointed as day of mourning for entire country, to observe same with fireworks and other ceremony, just as for member of royal family. Also from this day, Mem Anna Owens shall bear title of Lady Kru Yai of Kingdom of Sian, as mark of sad respect of said nation. Maha Mangkut, King of Siam. It took him a long time to write it, ma'am. He wrote it many times.
It was very kind of him.
Ma'am, please to try and understand, ma'am. He's trying to say in this letter that he is sorry. Not only about your son, but about the woman. That he was wrong, that you spoke truth to him, that nothing is any better for it. That is very much for him to say, ma'am. It is first time that he shall have tried to say that he is sorry to any person.
Please thank him for me.
Mem Saab, is this to be put up with? Is it to be endured for Louis Saab fireworks?
They're holding religious services, too, if you'll listen.
Then listen. Mem.
You may go.
Yes, madam.
Memcha,
Your Royal Highness.
I came. I wanted to ask. Do you remember this? when we said goodbye to each other, he gave it to me. I think that you shall maybe want it back.
No. It was Louis to give to whom he pleased.
You think that I may keep it?
Yes.
Mem.
Yes, Your Royal Highness.
I did not give Narlik. That is what I call Louis. I did not give him anything. And there is something I would have given to him, I think. It is white. Not all white, of course. But it is whiter than most. And it is mine. There are not many things that are mine. Not really, I mean to give. So, if you wouldn't mind taking it, maybe it would be like...
What is it?
My elephant. It's almost white and...
You liked Louis, didn't you?
Well, he gave me the knife, and he'd like it if you had something that could take care of you. I think he's very strong, the elephant, and I like him very much.
But if you gave me this strong, gentle elephant, who's going to look after you? You're growing so fast, your wrists are sticking out of your jacket. Somebody really ought to look after you.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
You sent for me, Your Majesty?
Yes, I sent for you.
What is it, Your Majesty?
Ma'am, doctors I send say you do not take medicine for sleeping as prescribed. Resting shall be necessary. I do not understand why you shall be so strong-headed in this matter.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I haven't. I want Your Majesty to know that I'm very grateful for the kind things you've done since my boy's death.
Such things I do, not important.
Is that all, Your Majesty?
No, this is not all. I have other matter to talk with you. Mem, I become every day more behind with work, which every day becomes more difficult, thus making for me much confusion, weariness, etc. For such instance, it shall be important to know, why shall geographers say this is absolute monarchy? How shall I be absolute if, when I wish for something to be so, it doesn't happen in this way, despite my absolute will to the contrary? Geographers. What is opinion, Mem?
I don't know.
Never mind, it's a difficult question. I am also much worried whether I shall send delegate, suitable display, etc., a great exhibition in Paris. What is opinion?
It sounds like an admirable idea, Your Majesty.
Mem, I think you shall not give opinion so quickly without thinking. Maybe French have murky reason for suggesting such exhibit. Why you not think of this? Mem, it will be much help if you would examine correspondence for such murky propositions. This I am too burdened to do myself, and there is no one else to be trusted. This shall be much important, Mem. What shall answer be?
I can't, Your Majesty.
Mem, shall you be forgetting that work is always best remedy?
I know, but I can't. I can't take any more letters or give any more advice. I'd like to, but I can't.
What shall you be doing then? You do not go away?
I don't know. I haven't been able to think. I'd like to keep on with my school, I think. I've nowhere else. I'd like to keep on with my school.
But, Mem, only school teaching? I think that also.
It's the children I want. It's the
children.
Very well, ma'am. I think if you do other work such as letters, such arrangement would contemplate raising salary, but... Very well, ma'am.
That will be all for today. And for tomorrow, you need not prepare the lesson in geography. I find His Majesty has done away with the geographies we had, so we'll have to wait till new books arrive. That's all. You may go. If any of you would like to remain, for any questions.
Ma'am,
Yes, Olaf.
His Majesty wishes...
As I told
Ma'am, we're writing correspondence. Suddenly, he very angry. I do not know why. He say he cannot do such things alone. He say no one tell him truth. He say there is no one to be trusted. He say, oh, ma'am, if you will not come, it will be very bad for me.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Etc., etc., etc.
Ma'am, you must come. Quick.
Please remain in your seats until I return.
He worked late into night. I thought he had fallen into sleep, as he has done so often lately, and they let him rest. But he was ill, very ill. He asked for us. But we must wait again. Maybe for the last time.
Ma'am.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Wherefore have you not arrived more quickly? I wish to talk to you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Sit down, ma'am.
You mustn't talk now, Your Majesty.
I shall talk, I say. There is not much time. I die, ma'am.
No.
Do not say foolish things. I know if I die or do not die.
You shouldn't be here. Can't we move you to your room?
No, I wish to remain here in room with knowledge. I have finished thinking about dying.
I think of many other things while I am lying here. I think of things I should have said to you. I mean, when I think maybe I do not see you again, I write down these things. I think maybe it will be better he shall read them. Shall you be listening, old friend? There shall be words for you, too.
I'm listening, Tungrama.
I think there shall not be much important that a man shall die. For it is time that does all true things, not man. Then I think it shall be important to consider those who have been of most help.
Ah, words, words. I wish to say, you have spoken truth to me, always. Even when I do not wish to hear it, you have always courage to say when I am wrong. You have set feet of children on excellent path of learning, and are therefore most affectionately thought of by same. More so than regular parents, including self. So that if some shall grow better than parents, it shall be your doing. And as reward for this, what shall I have done? I have often lost my temper on you. I have never spoken gratitude of feeling. I haven't even given promised raise in salary. I do not wish to die without having said that gratitude and large respect and confidence on you, which shall have become larger every day. But, Mem, if I haven't graciously said this gratitude before, you must remember you have been a very difficult woman. And much more difficult than generality. Generality. It's a good word. It means...
Never mind.
True progress shall lie. Etc. Etc.
He tried so hard. No one will ever know. It was so hard to let anyone help him. He wanted to, but he couldn't. He was like a little boy sometimes. You remember about the forks and knives. And he was sick that night. He cared so much. They didn't know he cared like that. Nobody understood. Not really.
It seems a long time ago. I tried to make you understand this man. I do not think I said it half so well.
What happens now? All his work.
I think now the young prince will have much need of you. It was meant that you shall stay and help him.
Let this, our first message to our people, be proclaimed, and not as if we were doing a great and lordly thing, but only what is right and fitting. That from this hour, the ancient national custom of obeisance on hands and knees is abolished, and all men shall stand before the king and before one another as men should do. And let it be the spirit of this proclamation, that this shall be the first of many changes which we hope to bring about as soon as they are possible, as I believe my father, the late king, would wish us to do. And as I have learned that it is right and necessary to do if we are to live and work together in liking and respect for one another, as we must do if we are to work together for the good of our country.